Magandang Miyerkules sa inyong lahat. It's 37 days before Christmas. Today is November 18, 2020. Ito po si Benji Chodoro. I'll be sharing with you today the news on Converge, Jollibee, and DMCI, and the results of trading in the PSE. Lahat ng ito dito lamang sa November 18, 2020, the Miyerkules edition of the Stock Market Today. Bago po ang lahat, basahin po muna natin ang ating reminders at disclaimers. At habang binabasa po natin ito, kung first time niya po dito sa ating channel, ay nag-start po akong magbigay ng daily stock market report noong August. Inaanyayahan ko po kayo na mag-subscribe sa aking channel para palagi po tayong updated sa balita at impormasyon tungkol sa stock market at ang mga active stocks sa merkado. And since early 2000 ay nag-start po akong mag-invest regularly sa UITFs at pagkatapos ay sa stocks. Salamat po at tignan po muna natin ang ating mga balita. This is from the Philippine Star. Converge network outage, disconnect thousands. Balita ito kahapon. I was listening in over the radio. And yun nga, nagkaroon nga ng problema si Converge. No? Customers of Converge ICT Solutions abruptly lost internet service on Tuesday after the company reported a network-wide outage that hit workers heavily reliant on online connection while staying indoors. Subscribers lost internet access at 1:10 p.m. due to issues in our data center, Converge said in an advisory. Work is underway to restore. Subscribers lost internet access at 1:10 p.m. due to issues in our data center, Converge said in an advisory. Work is underway to restore connectivity in the soonest possible time, the company added, without specifying a time frame. As of September, Converge has 900,531 customers in Luzon, where the company is currently operating. So, I hope na ayos na rin po ito, no? Para nakakatrabaho na yung mga work from home. Okay, the next is from good news naman tayo, from Jollibee. From the business world, Jollibee opens new store in Abu Dhabi. I think this is a lot of stores na, no, that they have opened. Jollibee Foods Corp, or JFC, continues to expand its overseas footprint with the opening of a new store in Abu Dhabi. In a statement on Monday, the fast food chain operator said it recently began operations at its 48th store in the United Arab Emirates. It is located on Hamdan Street, one of the busiest streets in Abu Dhabi. So that's very good news for Jollibee. And Jollibee continues to expand in spite of the pandemic. Finally, we have also from the business world, DMCI Homes eyes 13.9 billion worth of project completions. DMCI Project Developers Inc., or DMCI Homes, the residential arm of listed DMCI Holdings Inc., is targeting to complete 10 projects before the year ends. In a disclosure by its parent to the exchange on Tuesday, DMCI Homes said it is expecting to finish 13.9 billion worth of projects in the remaining period of 2020, comprising 4,088 residential units spread across 10 buildings. These projects belong to DMCI Homes, Mulberry Place, Luminaire Residences, Cathalea Place, Sheridan Towers, Alea Residences, and Oak Harbor Residences. Of the combined 4,088 residential units, some 3,500 have already been sold out. Okay, so I believe that, DMCI, the price of DMCI now is, let's take a look. DMCI is at, let's see. Okay, it's at 539. The continuous upward trend of DMCI lately had already taken into consideration their projects for completion in the fourth quarter. Okay, now let's take a look at how the PSE fared today. Before we go to the PSEI, let me give you a short quiz on dividends. Okay, so we will be answering this when we review AREIT later. On November 15, you bought 10,000 shares of AREIT. On November 17, the company declared dividends of 34 centavos per share with ex-date of December 2. On December 3, you sold the stock because you have reached your target price. there are two questions. One, are you entitled to the dividends? And two, if your answer is yes, how much is the dividend per share will you get net of taxes? Very interesting, di ba? Okay, so we will answer that later when we go to the AREIT review. In the meantime, let's see what happened to the PSEI. The PSEI gained 92.64 points or 1.33% from the previous close to end at 7051.78. Now, if we'll take a look at the market summary, 126 companies advanced, 86 declined, while 65 remained unchanged. There was net foreign selling at 375.18 million. For the market indices, all the sectors are in the green except for mining, which registered a 1.09% decline. The gainers was led by the holding companies at 1.94%, followed by the financials at 1.92%. The all-share index increased by 1%. So let's now look at the most active stocks. And let's review the following. We'll review BDO, DITO, BPI, SM, AC, Merrimart, ACEN, MAC, DMCI, and AREIT. Okay, let's go to the first stock, BDO. By the way, in my stock review, I use the 20-day exponential moving average as my short-term indicator, represented by the orange line, the 50-day exponential moving average as my medium-term, represented by the blue line, and the 100-day exponential moving average as my long-term indicator, represented by the black line. I also use the relative strength index, or RSI, and the directional movement index as additional confirmation indicators. By the way, if you have a PSE stock in mind and you want it reviewed, please let me know by leaving a comment in the comment box, and I will do my best to do the review. Pero reminder lang po, walang sisihan, because my view on the stock is not 100% accurate, and it is not a guarantee on where prices will go. Okay po, so now let's take a look at BDO. Okay, BDO moved higher today, so there was a reversal candlestick on the previous day, and there was volume, and right now this is a confirmatory candlestick that the prices may move higher. So I think that the stock will move higher because the hour indicators are right under the candlestick. If you'll notice here, yung indicators natin are piercing through the candlestick, but this time this green indicator here, by the way, there is volume, huh? The green indicator here is above all three indicators. So let's see. I see the nearest resistance here. That's a 98, 99. Because there is a resistance here and another resistance here. Yan yung significant levels na nakikita natin dyan. So these are recent levels. And so they are established resistance levels. So nasa 98.20, 98.30 yung magiging next resistance. It may retest those levels. Next, let's take a look at DITO. DITO started trading today. So, notice nagkaroon siya from a red candlestick here, it opened at 640, bit higher than the previous day's closing, and ended at 654 or 3.81%. But the highest level was 687. So, it is still above our indicators. Well, from the structure of DITO, I think it will just be moving. Well, there is a potential to move higher, and our RSI is well, it's bullish at 58. An RSI of above 50 is bullish, it's 58. And let's check our DMI. The DMI is the directional movement. A number above 30 would indicate a bullish momentum. So it's 44.73, meaning that the stock has the potential of moving higher. Although nakikita natin yung indicator as under, no, maaaring mag-move upward pa yan. In the meantime, I can see the nearest resistance here. Mga 720, 718, 720. So mariretest niya yung 720 resistance level. Ngayon, since meron siyang volume, maaaring tumaas na yan. Ngayon, yung nearest support naman ay nandito. Nasa 585 ang nearest support niya. Tingnan natin yung next, BPI. Ang BPI naman, BPI is a green candlestick, may morning star siya. It's a morning star with volume. So, ang nakikita ko dito is it will move higher. No? Kasi, let's draw a trend line muna. Hindi to perfect, ano? May slight overshoot lang. Yan. Yan yung pinaka... There's just a slight overshoot. Yan. Okay? So, nag-end siya in a morning star, although there is volume. Pero, sa akin kasi, because the body of the candlestick is smaller, it's a morning star, then I think that it may just continue to move on a sideways movement, although our indicators are moving up. So, maaring in this area siya mag-move. In this area siya mag-move at i-retest niya yung level na ito. Yung 85.44 level. Mga 86 level yung i-retest yung resistance. Kung umakyat pa siya and that the volume will hold, then na-break na niya yung resistance at pataas pa rin siya. But from the looks of it, because our indicators are all moving up, it will probably also move up. But I am just worried of this candlestick with a thin body because it is a perceived weakness on the stock. Sige, tingnan nga natin yung DMI. It's 50. So malamang na in spite of that morning star there, then malamang na mag-move up pero i-retest niya muna yung level na 85.80. Okay? Next, let's take a look at SM. SM continues to move. This is a sideways movement actually. It has been moving downwards for 4 days, and right now we have a green candlestick which is probably a sign of reversal. Now, if we see another green candlestick, then pataas niya yan. Tataas na po yan. Although our indicator is still under the candlestick, then there is that potential of still moving upwards. If the following day, you will see another green candlestick. In the meantime, the nearest resistance is here. Nasa 1,097. The nearest support, actually, it is the opening price is the support. No? So I would say it is the EMA 20. So yung EMA 20 niya is at 989. Ito mga 900. So maaaring yan yung pwede natin gawing support. 990 o 989 level. Ngayon, kung you see another green candlestick tomorrow, then it is a sign that SM had already recovered and the price is on the way up. Next, let's take a look at Ayala Corporation. Wow, Ayala Corporation continues to move higher. Look at that. Meron siyang volume. Oh. It ended 2% higher, which is a decent increase. And it continues to move higher. Let's draw a channel here. Let's draw a parallel channel. May slight overshoot lang po ito. Pero, so it continues to move higher. Although there is net foreign selling. Pero, magandang stock tong Ayala Corporation. And look at our indicators. It's right under the candlesticks. And if you'll notice, pagka nagkakaroon ng lower high, and if nears the EMA 20, nagkakaroon siya ng bounce. So, diba? Here and here. Ito, nagkaroon siya ng bounce dito. Pagka nag-near siya sa EMA 20. Here, the lowest point here was 736. The EMA was 733. So, where do I see the stock? Let's take a look first at the DMI. The DMI is 49. A DMI of 30 and above would indicate a bullish trend. So I see the stock moving higher and it may retest the next resistance level. Let's use the weekly. The next resistance level is malaya na kasi historical niya. Ang next historical niya nandito na. Nasa 902, 900, 902 level. So it may retest that level. Let's put it back to 1 day. Yan, at 900, 902, ang next level niya. And it may continue to move upwards. Next, let's take a look at Merrimart, one of the most active stocks today. So, Merrimart ended 9.57%. Ang taas, ha? This is a significant increase. 9.51% or 515, opened at 475. Now, if you take a look at our indicators, it's right under the candlestick and there's volume. If we will be drawing a trend line here, there. So the movement of the stock is going up. And right now it is a near all-time high. 520 is the all-time high. Okay, so it reached the 520 level yesterday. So yesterday it was at 520. So I would say that that will be the nearest resistance because we have no historical basis for Mary Mart except the yesterday's candlestick. So that would be our resistance, while support, I would say that the nearest support is here, 460, 470. Mga 460 yung nearest support niya. Nearest resistance is this, 570, 520 yung nearest resistance niya. So dyan magre-retest yung stock. Pero from the looks of it, tataas na ito. Next, let's take a look at ACEN. ACEN is another Ayala Corporation subsidiary which has been moving up. You'll see, yung ascent ni ACEN started here, July 30, and it's steadily been moving up. Now, if you'll notice, yung EMA 20, yung orange line na yan, is right under the candlestick, and whenever the candlestick touches the EMA 20, there is a bounce. So, there was a bounce. Let's check. So, there was a bounce here, here, and here. So, yung EMA 20 is acting as our support right now. So, I would say yan yung support level natin, yung EMA 20. So, yung current support is at 402. And if you have entered here, for example, if you have entered at the closing price here at 255, just imagine how much you have gained if you are holding on to the stock. So let's check. Yan, no? So yan, how much have you gained there? You have gained 92.16%. No? 111 days walang hinol dyan. But you gained almost double of the value of the stock. So yan po si ACEN. And by the way, ACEN has significant catalyst going for it. One is the Singaporean investor who will be infusing fresh money. The second is the stock rights offer, which is at 237, I think. The third is the good projects of ACEN, yung big ticket and good projects of ACEN. And fourth is the income for the third quarter, which is almost 200%. 197 yata, 195 when I saw the disclosure. So, plus, you will see the market sentiment on ACEN. The general market sentiment is upwards, and the preference of the government for clean energy. Okay, so ACEN has a lot going its way. Now, saan ko nakikita yung stock? Kasi ito all-time high na. It reached 5, which is an all-time high. So, the nearest support that I see is here, 415. Okay, so it's 415, 416 yung nearest support niya. But the nearest resistance, I would say it would be a 5. That's the only data that we have. But if we'll take a look at the bid and ask, we can see sellers at 5 and sellers at 510. Meron siya at 540 din, pero maliliit na lang to. Meron din siya at 520. Okay, but the 510, there are sellers at 510, so 310,000, volume is 310,000. So the next level would be a 5, and it may retest the 510 level. I think it will continue to move higher. So next, let's take a look at MAC. MAC, isa pa itong stock na tumataas, no? Steadily going up. Okay, MAC, it had a green candlestick today. Kasi yesterday, there was an evening star. You call this an evening star, meaning that it is a sign of reversal that looks like an evening star. Pero, hindi siya nagkaroon ng red candlestick, meaning there was the sign of reversal of the stock prices going down did not materialize because of this green candlestick. If it were a red candlestick today, then it is a confirmation that there is a sign of reversal, that prices are going down, but it is not. It looks like it is just consolidating o nagpapahinga. In the meantime, yung ating DMI, it should be above 30. Yes, it's 39. So I think that the stock will continue to move higher. So ano yung next resistance level ni MAC? Let's take a look. Let's use the weekly. The next resistance level, it would place it mga 825 yung next resistance level niya. Mga 820, I would say. 820 yung next resistance level niya. Since there is a support level here and a resistance level here, those are the historical levels. So the next one would be at 820. And I think that the stock will continue to move higher. Then let's take a look at DMC. DMC had earlier news that they will be completing their projects by the end of the year. But I think that the stock had already priced in that news. Okay, so DMC continues to move higher. And let's put up our indicator. Ayan, no? Pataas siya ng pataas. This is a red candlestick right now. And there is reduced volume. So probably magko-consolidate lang yan muna. I think, ha? Ngayon, if you see another red candlestick here, baka bumagsak siya. If there is another red candlestick, because this one here is a morning star, is an evening star rather. But here, this is a doji. A doji is an uncertain candlestick. So you may either see a green candlestick tomorrow or a red candlestick. But from our indicators, kasi nasa under siya, under all three indicators, so and the RSI is overbought. Now let's see if the DMI is above 30. Okay, it's 57, meaning that it doesn't matter whether the stock is overbought, it will continue to move higher. Ngayon, kung merong red candlestick yan, kinabukasan, anong masasabi ko dyan? Kung red candlestick yan at significant yung drop, then most probably the trend is reversing. That is my take on the stock. In the meantime, what is the resistance level? Ito yung resistance level with DMI. Let's take a look at the historical. Yan. The nearest level is, nandito siya. Mga 620, yung next level niya. That's my take on DMI. And finally, let's take a look at AREIT. Okay, AREIT appears to be moving upwards. Okay, if you'll take a look, yung ating indicators, there's a yellow, yung short and medium term. They're right under the candlestick, and it had an increase of 1.53% or 0.40 points from 26.30. The IPO price, by the way, is 27 pesos. So it went as low as 23.85. I was able to buy at 24 yata ako nakabili dito. But I bought at the IPO price of 27 also. Pero in the market, when it was already there, I was able to buy at, I think, 24.50 within that area. Hindi ko na maalala. Pero, if you'll take a look, pataas si AREIT, oh. Why? Because, ulitin natin, may dividend siya. Ayan, oh, meron siyang dividend dito. So, meron siyang dividends here, and meron siyang dividends here. So, if you'll take a look at the dividends, meron siyang cash div of 34 centavos per share, and the ex-date is December 2, while the payment date is December 17. But if you will look at the left side also, just a few days after it was introduced to the market, merong dividend na 59 centavos. So, you're just holding it for a few days, then you already have the dividends. Diba? That's something special. Ayala Corporation yan. Blue chip company yan ang nag-issue niyan. No? Anyway, the nearest support that I see is actually, it's been moving within this box. Let's try to draw a box. Let's try to draw this rectangle. Yan yung pinaka-box niya. Diyan siya nag-move. Na-slight overshoot lang po, but it's actually, this is where the stock has been moving for quite some time, since August, no? So, may slight overshoot lang siya. Yan. So, we have a resistance of 25 or 26.40 and a support of 25.44. Okay? So, if you take a look at the dividends that was declared, merong 20.59 dito and 34 dito. So, how much is that for the year? Okay, so let's compute. Okay, can you see the calculator? So how much is that for the year? So you have 59 centavos as the first dividend payment plus 34. The 59 is for the first and second quarters, while the 34 is for the third quarter. So all in all, you have a total dividend issuance of 93. Okay? So meron kang 93 dyan. Let's multiply it by 90%. We will remove the 10% tax. That's 837 divided by 2650. Is it less? Yeah, 2650. So you get 3.16%, but you only had it for 5 months. Diba? So let's say that you had it for 6 months. Example lang dito, para madali. We multiply that by 2. You have an effective rate of 6.32%. Not bad, huh? This is net of tax. So you held the asset for half a year and you yielded 6.32%. Eh magkano ngayon ang going rate? 2%? 1.5? Yung T-bills? Baba. This is better. Let's go back to AREIT. So let's go back to our question. Balik tayo sa question natin dito. Yung quiz natin. On November 15, you bought 10,000 shares of AREIT. On November 17, the company declared dividends of 34 centavos per share with an ex-date of December 2. On December 3, you sold the stock because you have reached your target price. Are you entitled to the dividends? What do you think? I'll give you 5 seconds. The answer is yes. Why? Because your ex-dividend date is December 2. Ang ibig pong sabihin ng ex-date is that on that date, hindi ka nakasama. The key there is when you bought the stock. Since you bought the stock before December 2, even if you bought it on December 1, and you held on to the stock up to December 1, you are entitled to the dividends. In this case, you bought the stock on November 15 and you are still the owner of the stock on December 1. Ang ibig kasi sabihin ng ex-date is that excluded ka na on that date. So, if you bought the stock on December 2, hindi ka nakasama. If you sold the stock on December 2, but you are the owner on December 1, kasama ka sa dividend. Malinaw? So, you sold the stock on December 3, so you're still, it's just fine because you are still the owner of the stock on December 1. So, number 2, if your answer is yes, which is our answer, how much is the dividend per share will you get net of taxes? Ang declared dividends natin is 34 centavos per share. Now, as we know, we have to consider taxes. Let's put up our calculator. Okay, let's clear that. Okay, so you have 0.34. You are slapped a 10% tax pagka dividend income, ano? So we remove the 10% by multiplying 0.34 by 0.9 or 0.90 or 90%. So the net dividend that you will get is 30.6 centavos. Okay, so that's the how much dividend you will get per share. But if you want to know the exact amount, since you bought 10,000 shares, you multiply that by 10,000. And this is what you will get, 3,060 for 10,000 shares. So I hope that's clear. And you learned something from how to compute the dividend income. So that is for the peso. For the dollars, kasi, if you have dollar preferreds, no, there is a few. No? Del Monte and Sirtec, meron silang dollar dividend in the Philippine market. Walang ano yan, walang tax yan. Although it is taxable by the BIR. You are not, there is no withholding tax or there are no taxes deducted on you by the brokerage on the dollar. Just the usual commissions. Okay? Yan po ang ating stock market report today. Miyerkules, the 18th of November 2020. This is Benji Chidoro. Laging nagpapaalala, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. See you again in the next episode at maraming salamat sa inyong pagtangkilik. Maraming salamat.